Welcome back, everybody. We got Bear Creek's Adventures in Beekeeping again. Just wanted to introduce to you sort of my new little apiary area that the kind farmer here has let me cut out a little area off to the side for my bees, trim out a little bit of the canopy so we can let a little light in. Um, just wanted to do a little talk. It's good that we have farmers out there that are in it for more than I guess the money. It's a way of life for them, and they kind of understand that what they do and what they can be doing can benefit um, uh, well, all forms of wildlife actually, and that the honeybees play a big part in um, what they do for a living, and not to mention the health of everything around here. I got a farmer. He doesn't farm agriculture for money. He farms agriculture to feed his cattle. So he's got hay fields, clover fields, cornfields, and he has beef cattle. Not a ton of them, they graze, but he cuts the hay and whatnot. So he doesn't use a lot of pesticides, because he's not trying to squeeze every square, every bushel out of every acre of property. And it's good to try to find farmers like this, and it can be hard, but this one was, I mean, I didn't have to. He came to me. I put an ad in, and he called me, and he's very busy. Works 90 hours a week. He's got, not only this job, he's got another job as well, to earn a living. But he's got, what he has is a lot of land, and not a lot of time. So this was a perfect. He wanted bees out on his property, um, but he didn't have any time to do the bee management himself. So it was a kind of a perfect relationship. I respect his property, and I try not to drive on places I'm not allowed to drive on, or on on crops that he's put in. But it's a very good relationship so far. This is the first year for it, and I don't even see him. He's never come out while I've been beekeeping yet. Um, I let him know every day when I'm going to be out here. Just send him a text, say I'm coming out, and that's all I really need to do. That's all he asks from me. That, and I keep an eye on what I see. If somebody's in here that's not supposed to be in here, just let him know. He might know that the guy's in here, or whatever, but he just wants to know what's going on his property. That's all he asks. That and a little bit of honey. That's a fair trade-off for me. It's not like I'm giving him, a barrel of honey or anything like that. It's just, I gave him a couple bottles to start, and, I'll give him a few bottles, or maybe a gallon this winter. We'll see what we can get, what we can get here, but the things are going pretty good here. I've got 3 7 hives up on top. Those are my production hives. Essentially, those are for my honey. These are my nukes. This is going to be my little nuke yard. Now I'm only 250 yards from my production hives. Unfortunately, we couldn't find a field that was high enough um, all year long. It wasn't going to be a little bit swampy in the spring, so I can come out and work my bees. But this'll do. I don't need to. You know, it would be nice if I could, have an area that, if I wanted to do a split, I can just, move it 2 miles away. But unfortunately, you work with what you have. I have a home apiary too, so I'm growing nukes over there, mini mating nukes over there, and then I'm gonna bring them here when they're ready to be hived, and that's what we're doing today. We're going to be. I got 3 splits that are ready to hive into these double 4-frame nukes. So essentially, it's going to fill one, and then half of another, and then I got another mini nuke on the other end, but it's less than a mile away, and I'm not sure. I might just bring it over here, set it here for today, with it locked up, and then release them in the morning so that they can orient to a new hive. I might just do that. But so anyways, this is, like I said, this is a nice location. There's something blooming all the time. There's farms all around here, and they're all small family farms. They're not this big agriculture that, has one crop, and that's all you see, and it might bloom once during the year, and then the bees are on their own. So this is very diverse. It's woods surrounded, by fields, essentially, or fields surrounded by woods, I guess you could say. But anyways, we're gonna get started here. It's funny. I split one hive, um, which was a package nuke, 25. I think I've split it 8 times actually, but I split it the first time I did it. I split it, and I took two frames, and then one frame, and I put them in a 5 frame nuke, and then a 2 frame nuke, and I gave each one a queen. And the 2 5 frame nukes pretty well took off, and they're all the same type of queen. These are Carnolian queens. The 2 frame nuke, they're still relatively just on one frame in there. They haven't really built out much in the second, and they're not exploding the way I kind of thought. I was really thinking this one was going to either abscond or have swarmed by now, because it's been in there. Let's see, when did I do this? Well, I put it in on for 16 days ago. I figured the queen would have run out of space, and the hive would think about swarming already. But so far, that hasn't been the case. So but it just goes to show what sometimes when they're in a confined space, she slows down on her egg laying because they know that they don't have much space. Um, Okay. There she is. That's the queen right there. Wow. There she is. There's my queen. Well, at least I know I got my queen. You hear that roar. They were roaring because they knew they were queenless, and now I just gave them their queen. And I gotta watch that queen because she's up on the top frame there. I gotta wait till she goes down. Looks like she's gone down. Good. dokie. And again, this is what I do. I take off my tags that I'm keeping track of my hives. This is hive 15, and I transfer it over to the other. Now, these little L brackets should stay in there, but I just didn't bring any with me, so. Okay. This should be a fairly easy transfer here. I did bring them a frame of honey here. Well, there's my queen. So I verified that she's okay. So that's good. Okay. Looks like they started to draw this one out, so I'm gonna give them this frame here. So everything's all hived up, and I'm going to go check on another hive down the road a little bit and see if I can bring double over here. I'm just going to set it here for now, and then we'll go from there. You know, one of the things I wanted to mention to you, yesterday's video was the mini mating nukes, and the queens were hatching. Now today's video, obviously these were all mated queens that I installed, so this doesn't apply to these nukes here, or this installation today. But yesterday, one of the things that I found when I was doing it, and maybe you can look for this also when you're doing splits, walkaway splits, and you're wondering if your queen has hatched. Every single nuke that had a queen, a virgin queen that hatched, that I verified, had drones walking around. Probably at least 5-10 of them. I mean, in a 2-frame nuke, there was at least 10 drones in there, and they didn't come from that nuke. I know that for a fact, because when I installed any frames, these were, you know, some were from packages, some were from splits, but there was no drone comb. So these came from other hives, obviously, and maybe they were sniffing around just to see what's going on. But the one hive that I didn't show you on the video, that didn't have a hatched queen, virgin, had no drone comb drones walking around in it, which I found very, very interesting. There was 0 drones walking around on it, and the cell was eaten out on the side, and it had never never gotten to full development, or never hatched. So maybe, you know, there's something to that, and that could be a tip for the future. So you know, write your comments down on what you think. But that's something that I'm going to look for in the future, when I'm looking for a virgin queen. Are there drones in there that shouldn't? Well, drones go into you know, hives left and right and stuff like that, to get fed, but you know, in a small hive like that, you wouldn't expect them, but there were. So look for it, you know, the next time you're doing these splits, and see if maybe I'm onto something, or maybe you know that that for a fact, that's what happens. They're not in there mating, and they're not crawling around the queen or anything like that, but they were in the hive crawling around. So okay, that's it. Let's check out this earthquake hive, and the earthquake queen, I should say. And I've got a second box for this because it's very hot out, and they're really bearding this. They need to expand, even though I don't have any drawn out comb to give them. At least they'll have a place to. Wow, look at that. At least they'll have a place to move to. Whoa. There are just a ton of bees here. So let's see if we can do a quick inspection. And give them a second box. They're missing a frame is really what they're missing here. Well, let's see what we can see here. There it is. The earthquake queen, she has been released. I would say that would be labeled a success, huh? What about you? That's pretty cool, huh? That's pretty cool. So, they're in the process of tearing this down, so I'm just going to take it out of there. And let's see what we can do here. I see they're building some burr comb between these two, which we don't want to have happen, which sucks. I think she's in here, and I think we'll be good. And yep, there's drones in here. After reviewing my video from last time, I got a good idea that I wasn't very good on the camera. Showing you the virgin queens. I couldn't even pick them out after I was looking back at it. So I'm going to try to do a little bit better job this time.